In the early hours of June 12, 2013, 16-year-old Reagan Britton woke up and was unable to go back to sleep.
I was just wide awake, and then I get a phone call. It's my mom, and all she says is, "Help me, I can't breathe."
Reagan raced down the hall where she found her mom, Julie, a smoker and asthmatic, gasping for air.
I had a constant prayer going in my head, like, please God, please help me. She just looked like she was about to pass out or something, so I called 911.
Paramedics arrived to take Julie to the ER at St. Anthony's Hospital in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Before he left with the ambulance, Reagan's father, Michael, told Reagan and her twin sister, Jordan, to stay with their brother, Bauer.
Our dad said, just give us an hour, she'll be fine. We'll be back soon. Don't wake your brother up.
But at the hospital, things were far from okay. Julie's lungs weren't responding to treatment.
As she was getting breathing treatment, she worsened. And as she worsened, her oxygen levels plummeted. And when they plummeted, she passed out, and they had to start doing basically a code blue.
The medical team moved Julie to the ICU, where she coded 3 more times and had a stroke. Her friend of nearly 20 years, charge nurse Kelly Schock, was on duty.
I was right there, you know, doing the compressions, and I was saying goodbye to her. It was right at 10 minutes. We got her back again. And at this point, what little hope I had gone to none.
Julie's family and friends gathered at the hospital and started praying.
Some of it was just, please God, help us out, please. Like, we know you're watching, we know you're with us, please.
Then they learned Julie had developed disseminated intravascular coagulation, or DIC, a condition that was causing her blood to clot abnormally.
Typically, people don't live through that because they can have a massive stroke where they throw a clot to their brain, and I gave her very little chance to live.
The situation's about as bad as it can get. She is on life support at maximum everything, and her blood pressure is not really high enough to sustain life.
Dr. Blair struggled with breaking the news, not just to Julie's family, but to his own.
I've known Julie for, at this point, 10 years. And when my children's mother died, Julie was one of the biggest support systems for my kids. So Julie's twins were instrumental in keeping my twins sane through that time, probably helping keep me sane through that time. I knew that I now needed to tell my kids again that one of their biggest support systems and their best friend's mom is gonna die.
They said, your mom's not gonna make it if she codes again. Go in there and say your goodbyes. And we said, no, she's gonna make it. Because we knew God was looking out for us.
While the family stayed by Julie's side, more than 100 people from the close-knit community of Shawnee gathered in the waiting room and hallways of the ICU to show their support and pray.
People would pray together, people would pray separately, or just people from church would come and just sit there and pray with us for hours.
When I walked out of the intensive care unit and find 50 people in the waiting room, all believing in the power of prayer, and all believing that somehow she was going to be okay, I'll tell you, that's it's amazing.
Julie lived through the night, but doctors didn't hold out much hope for her recovery. Her sternum and ribs were broken from the CPR, so she couldn't breathe on her own. Her kidneys had also shut down.
After she made it through the first night, they started saying, you need to prepare. We know she made it through the first night, but there is a large chance she'll be in a vegetative state.
Julie was put into a medically induced coma and transferred to St. Anthony's Hospital in Oklahoma City for dialysis. There, Dr. Blair coordinated a team of nearly a dozen doctors assigned to her care. By now, people all over the country were praying. Julie's DIC resolved, and over the next few weeks, she continued to improve.
Every step she took in a positive direction, I knew that was God.
Finally, her kidneys started working again. After nearly a month in a coma, Julie woke up.
I woke up and I had no idea how long I had been there. I had no idea what had happened. I had no idea what my family and friends had been through.
Julie says the one thing she does remember was being with Jesus.
I cannot put into words where I was or the joy and the peace and the calm that I felt. There's no chaos. It was indescribable.
After 3 difficult months, Julie made a stunning recovery and walked out of the hospital. Today, her heart, lung, and kidney functions are all back to normal, and she has been completely delivered from her addiction to smoking. Julie and those she loves credit her survival to one thing: prayer.
It was a miracle that she's up and walking and smiling and laughing. I do not think she would be here today if it wasn't for those prayers.
Everyone I know and people that I didn't know praying for me is the only reason that I'm here.
And all the people that I've spoken to in her case, no one has ever seen anyone in her situation walk out of a hospital. Never. Not before, not since, never.
Julie cherishes each new day and her deeper relationship with Jesus.
Jesus is guiding you, but you have to stop and listen. I believe that God stripped us of everything except for each other and prayer, until the only thing that we had to look to was Him.